passing the open guard is one of the most difficult and frustrating things in jiu-jitsu. This is partly because there's so many different variations of open guard, and each one kind of requires its own system for breaking down. But this video, what I wanted to do is give you guys 5 principles that I think you can use in a lot of different situations that'll kind of change how you foundationally see passing the guard, so that sometimes when you get in a position and you don't know what to do, you have some fundamental principles you can use to help you get through the situation. Also, guys, if you like the content, be sure to like to help support the video, and comment and let me know what you would like to see in future videos. So the first core principle to understand is that to finish any guard pass, you need to get your opponent's shoulder blades flat to the mat with your chest on top of their chest. This seems kind of obvious, but a lot of times when people are passing the guard, they're so focused on getting around the legs, they stay so far away that even if you clear the legs, it's too easy for your opponent to push you off and get back. So I like to focus a lot on staying close to my opponent as I set up my passes. So when I do clear the legs, I'm already chest over chest and that much closer to the pass. Any guard pass in the end is going to end with me chest over chest with his shoulder blades pinned to the mat. If he's on his side and his shoulder blades aren't pinned, even if I'm around in side control, even if I have like head control, right? He can still fight a lot here. In fact, they won't even give me points on the guard pass at this point, so he's turned into me, right? So my final objective is to get his shoulder blades flat. So a lot of people, what they're doing is they're trying to pass the guard, but they're too far away. So no matter how good I am at clearing the legs, if I'm really far away and I clear here, I have all of this distance to cover to fight to get through these legs, right? So as I come into him, he's gonna frame with his hands, frame with both hands, right? And he's gonna be framing me and stuff, and now it's hard to pass. And not only is he pushing me away, but he's pushing himself away, right? So he has more distance. So the closer I am, if I'm like here and I clear the legs and get here, now when he starts pushing me, he's pushing me, but he's also pushing himself directly into the floor, okay? And this is kind of a broad principle. It's gonna look different for different passes. Like if I'm knee cutting, instead of going out this way where when he pushes me, he's pushing me away, I wanna go more into him. So as he pushes, I'm over top. And again, he's pushing himself into the floor, right? So again, most people, they're passing, they're way out here trying to do stuff. You need to start trying to get in closer and try to get over top of your opponent first. And then I try to work my way in. Again, you can't just use that concept to solve every position, but it is true that every pass is going to require you to get in that endpoint position, right? So again, just looking at another situation, say I'm in De La Hiva. See, I'm over top. I'm not way back here. If I cut here, everything is really hard, right? So I get over top. Now I can knee cut, right? If I push this leg behind me, I'm already over top of him. It's easy to find the pass. An additional thought about this is like even for holding side control, understanding this idea of chest over chest and pinning the shoulder blades is key. A lot of people get so focused on like head control, but again, if he's turning into me here, like I can have the best cross face here, I can't do anything, right? So the most important thing is keeping his shoulder blades pinned. So you see here, if I have my hands on the floor, if he tries to turn into me, see, I use my chest to kind of pin him here, right? If he goes back the other way, see, I work like here. So I'm always navigating and moving and adjusting and using the tools I need to try to keep his shoulder blades down. The next really useful detail is having your legs more straight as you enter the guard. A lot of people enter the guard in like a low squat position, and this makes you a lot less mobile. It's hard to be fast going side to side, as well as it makes it harder for you to stay close with your upper body getting chest over chest, and it makes it easier for your opponent to set up positions like De La Hiva hook, reverse De La Hiva hook. So I find entering with my legs straight or at least slightly bent allows me to be much faster in the position and offensive. A lot of people enter in kind of this like lower squat position because they feel like they're in balance. But again, it's hard to get chest over chest and get close to my opponent when I'm like this. If I approach here, he's gonna get access to my legs first. He starts getting strong De La Hiva hooks and it puts me out of balance. So my preferred positioning when I enter is actually more straight legs. You don't have to be completely locked out, maybe a slight bend, but more straight legs and hinged at the hip, like I'm stretching my hamstrings. The reason I like this is it allows my upper body to get close, but maintains my legs further away. So now I'm here in position that I can control the legs, grab the lapel and do things, but if he tries to grab my legs, they're still far away. This makes it way easier for me to be quick in my movement and start threatening different passes, right? As well as if he does grab my leg and tries to put like a De La Hiva hook in, just do it on the other side so you can see, right? So he tries to put a De La Hiva hook in, he doesn't get an immediate strong De La Hiva hook. If I'm here like this and he grabs it, now he's starting to get the strong hook that he can start off balancing me with, right? So again, just as I'm approaching here, I'm moving legs relatively straight until I find the position I want to enter with. Another really useful aspect of this is you're way more explosive, right? If I'm here and I want to throw, I have to come all the way up to throw. If I'm here, it's very quick to do this. It's also very quick to shoot a knee cut, right? Because my leg is high and I can lift it fast to shoot, right? If I'm here, it's hard because my weight is on both feet to move my knee. So here I can be moving and quickly shoot knee cuts and attacks like that. Another subtle but very effective detail is trying to maintain a strong upper neck position or thoracic spine. A lot of people enter their guard bent over, and that's fine, but they keep their head kind of rounded, their upper neck kind of rounded. It makes it easier for people to break your posture. It makes it harder to have strong knee pressure or strong finish pressure. Even if you're in side control, opening your chest up allows you to use your chest to control how you're pinning your opponent's shoulder blades. You can be hinged over here, but you can kind of have like a rounded neck. So I really want to like pull my chin back and kind of push my upper like spine out like this in this strong positioning here. So a lot of people, when you say posture, they think being straight up, right? But I can be hinged at my hip and bent over with a strong neck positioning. This has a lot of benefits. One benefit is when I shoot my knee for a knee cut, it's way stronger when I have that kind of posture positioning. If I'm like this, it's hard to push my knee down with much force. So I want that extension in my upper thoracic spine, right? Also, let's say that hypothetically my opponent grabs my collar. Just because he grabs my collar, if I have this strong positioning with my chin pulled back, pulling my collar here, as he pulls back, I still have that posture to cut, right? But if I allow someone to grab this and I let that upper thoracic round and he pulls, now, see, pull hard, it's hard to get it back, right? See, and now when I try to cut, I can't get the position on the knee, everything just becomes harder, right? So if I'm approaching like this, it's very important that you push the chest forward, pull your chin back, and you're here like this. Even if, let's say I'm in like side control. If I'm in side control and I'm trying to stay heavy here, when I pull the chin back and I open my chest, it makes me heavier and easier to control him with my chest, right? If I conform to him like this, it becomes harder because as he moves, I can't keep my weight. But here, see, start pushing on me. See, as you can push hard, right? See, I can conform and adapt, and as he turns away, look, I use my chest to pin him. He turns into me, I use my chest to pin him, okay? So again, when you're dealing with passing, there's like micro and macro. So micro is like how do you deal with each individual situation, and that's going to be different depending on every context of all the different situations. The macro is these kind of principles that will connect to a lot of different things. So these ideas, like you're going to have to find where you can apply them. It's not like you can't just approach the guy's guard behind your back. You can't just approach the guy's guard like this, but it is true that having this position generally and getting chest over chest is going to make a huge difference in your ability to pass. The next one is not only important for passing the guard, but in jiu-jitsu in general, and that is assessing the positioning of your opponent to decide what to do next. Too often when people are passing the guard or playing guard, they're focused on a technique they want to do rather than focusing on whether or not that's even available. If I approach the guard already thinking that I want to do a knee cut pass, and then as I approach my opponent has his legs really high, it's difficult to trap the legs to go for a knee cut. So you can't force the technique you want. You need to assess the positioning, the grips of your opponent, the hip angle of your opponent, the elevation of his legs to make a good decision for what to do. Even if you don't know what to do in that situation, as long as you're assessing the positioning of your opponent, you will at least learn where you don't know what to do, and you can ask better questions in the future. A lot of people approach the guard with like one move in mind they want to do. They're like, I want a Toriando or I want a knee cut. But the move I'm going to do is going to be different depending on what he does. If I want to say do a knee cut and his feet are really, really high, it's awkward to do that. Here I might stack pass. If his feet are really low, then I might try to go for a knee cut here or a Toriando. If his legs, say his legs are wide and extended, a Toriando here is really hard because as I try to clear, I have to back up so far to clear this foot. I'm too far away from his chest. So here a knee cut's easier. If he pulls his knees really tight, now I can try to do a Toriando, right? So you need to be assessing the situation. Now, of course, I can't show you how to deal with every single situation in one video, but just the idea that your passes and your choices should be being made based upon the positioning he is in or the grips that he has you in, right? If I approach and he has me in collar or sleeve, then I need specific moves to kind of solve collar or sleeve. And that's going to be different than if he has me in De La Hiva, right? So you just want to make sure that even if you don't know what to do, at least if you're assessing the positioning of your opponent, then you're going to be able to figure out where you don't know what to do. You may enter and go, oh, he's on his side. That's kind of awkward. Like, you know. Like if I approach, I just showed you the stuff and he's in the center, but what if he's on his side? Like, yeah, this can feel a little bit different. So then I need different things. Maybe I need a pass to this side and ideas like that, right? So make sure you're always assessing the positioning of your opponent to make a decision on what your next move is going to be. And lastly, learning to control your opponent's legs with more than just your hands. The first battle when you're approaching an open guard is going to be fighting his legs, no matter what pass you want to use. If you want to use an over-under, a toriando, a stack, a knee cut, you're always going to have to deal with the legs first, right? If you're in wrestling, the first battle is the hand battle, right? You fight the hands to set up your takedown. In guard passing, you fight the feet to set up your guard pass, right? So learning to use your forearms as a way to help control the legs makes it much more difficult for your opponent to loop their legs, as well as it allows you to feel out their body positioning so that you can surprise them with your next pass attempt.
All right, and the last useful little tool is trying to use your forearms more to control his legs than just his hands. A lot of people come in and they just try to go straight for the pants, but now he can put his feet in my biceps, he can break my grip, and he controls. I don't really control much. So a lot of times, if his legs are low, a lot of times I'll just start passing immediately, but a lot of guys with good guards will kind of keep their feet up. So here I actually use my forearms a lot to feel out where his leg is, right? It's like you're putting a pipe in the spokes of a wheel. If I'm here, see now when he tries to loop his leg around this, I have way more control with my whole forearm, and then I can feel it out to go for passes, right? So a lot of times when I enter, I keep that hinged at the hip, chest forward, chest back, forearms up, right? So he's here like this, I feel it out, and see now I can start adapting for the situation, right? I can go here, oh, stack. Right here, I feel a knee cut, and it makes you in a more reactive position that's easy to control, and he can't get an immediate grip on you. Of course, again, to develop really good guard passing, you have to have answers for most of the common guards. I can't cover everything in one video, but the purpose of this video is to give you guys what I think are 5 very useful tips that you can just kind of apply across the board and will massively help your guard passing.
All right, guys, as always, if you like the content, be sure to like, share, subscribe to help support the channel, and comment and let me know what you guys would like to see in future videos. Thanks a lot.